Hello, my name is Elliot, and my presentation is on racial and ethnic discrimination. With the expansion of online media, a growing number of racial events have been caught and shown to millions. The main issue to discrimination in countries seems to be the influence of people with power. The modern world has seen leaders that are being broadcasted and shown to a large audience. This causes people to become influenced and moved by what they are stating. While positive aspects can be achieved, negative and poorly informed ideals can also become an outcome. Many can often believe the political leaders to an extent of carrying out actions that result in worldly issues. For example, in the midst of the lockdown in 2020, the misuse of one statement caused people to believe wrongly and commit harmful actions. American political leader naming COVID as a Chinese virus created tension between Chinese Americans and the rest of the country. Chinese Americans became oppressed and discriminated against, along with multiple violent incidents shown to the world. The roots of racism come from a historical background. However, in the world of media, discrimination is powered by the use of influence and misinformation. A simple solution is simply to educate and research. With the entirety of the world educated, people can become more resistant to the biased media which sways people into the wrong beliefs. Trusting in every source of the internet is a dangerous and harmful aspect that should be looked out for. Awareness is the key point to changing the negative influence the media has, and the start to appreciation rather than discrimination against diverse backgrounds.
My name is Sean Kim and I'm going to present you about discrimination in Korea. I found that there is discrimination against unvaccinated people in Korea. It occurs since COVID-19 in Korea is becoming severe and the government is making strict regulations. Restaurants started not to receive unvaccinated people and some cafes even do not accept them also. This has happened since if there was an infected person in the shop owners must close their shop for a while. Then shop owners get economic damage which makes it hard to earn a living. It is an obligated decision for shop owners, but it is making discrimination against unvaccinated people. As days go by, unvaccinated people's complaints grow intense and conflicts between owners and customers get harder. The government has to make an ideal solution for this, but they are not overcoming the problem until now.
Melanie, and my topic was about discrimination in Korea. So, to start with, I looked into 3 reasons or prongs on how we could address it. So, firstly is the information on what is actually happening. And in Korea, there are many inter-discrimination racism against Muslim people, internal refugees, and Chinese people. And the reason why this has happened is because of Korean ethnocentricity and xenophobia that comes with having a population that is 99% the same ethnicity, which is Korean. The significance of this is pretty obvious. There is a lot of systematic discrimination. For example, foreigners not covered by the national healthcare plan and they are being excluded from the national mask rationing during the pandemic. There is also social pressure against the progressive change. For example, even if somebody wanted to change or decrease systematic racism against foreigners, our minorities having social pressure that has stigmatized those who said that African American people are truly or that Muslim people are forged so they don't belong in Korea. And that a lot of systematic pressures against that as well. So what we can do to help is to start from our local community, spreading awareness about the fact that this exists first of all, because many people deny that is out there, but it is and is very tangible. The second thing that we can do is start to branch out. We can use this awareness to motivate other people to create systematic changes. We can also start to create tangible changes by reaching out to organizations with the same goal. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Matthew and I'm gonna talk about my topic. Before we start, since there were not that many sources in Korea, refer from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, aka CDC. People with HIV may have concerns and questions about COVID-19, including the risk of serious illness and vaccine safety. COVID-19 vaccines are safe for people with HIV. COVID-19 vaccines meet the Food and Drug Administration's rigorous scientific standards for safety, effectiveness, and manufacturing quality, and people with HIV are included in vaccine clinical trials, authorized or approved COVID-19 vaccines will continue to undergo the most intensive safety monitoring. This includes using established and new safety monitoring systems to make sure that COVID-19 vaccines are safe. These points include the same as the booster shot. In addition, for the primary vaccine series, COVID-19 vaccines are recommended for everyone who is eligible. The number of vaccine doses you need depends on the type of vaccine you received. But for the additional primary shot, CDC does not recommend an additional primary shot of the COVID-19 vaccine for people with HIV who are virally suppressed or who do not have advanced HIV. Also, for the booster shots, CDC recommends that everyone, including people with HIV, they need to get a booster shot when they are eligible. And for the point how to do people should prevent COVID-19, because they have weaker immune system than uninfected people, so they should more take care of themselves. One way to help them would be raise funds or donate to campaigns to reach people who are suffering more from the coronavirus so they can buy HIV medicine. Because others don't know and don't care about the situation of HIV patients suffering from corona, it would be interesting to people and it will be a good way to raise funds. Thank you for listening, and my name was Matthew.
My topic was about poverty due to COVID-19 in Korea. Due to COVID-19 pandemic, many people had lost their jobs. Because the employer does not earn enough income to afford work employees, many people were fired from their work. The rate of unemployment had increased rapidly, causing poverty to soar and income equality to deteriorate. Also, more than 40% of the citizens over 65 years old live in relative poverty. For the solution of the problem, the government has created a COVID working policy for the youth. The government was increasing jobs for the youth and supported the startups company. I think there should be more policies that could help the unemployed and support the older people.
Hello, I'm Gina Kim, and my subject is about the problems with the treatment for COVID-19. So in Korea, there have been many cases where people got infected by COVID-19, and I saw that there were many problems with the treatment that Korea has been giving. Looking at this, I decided to choose to give a speech about the problems with the treatment for COVID-19 to indicate the seriousness. Korea has forced people to get vaccinated, and if they didn't, then they couldn't go anywhere, including cafes, restaurants, and many more. Due to this, many people decided to get vaccinated, but problems occurred here. Not all people have healthy or the right body that could fight off the viruses. When they get vaccinated, it could cause serious problems, including death. According to an article from CDC, it is said since December 2020, more than 469 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine have been administered in the US. And VAERS has received 10,483 reports of death. Like this, it could be seen that the problem with COVID-19 treatment is a big problem. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Justin Chung, and I'm going to present to you about child labor. Child labor that was being used as early as 1760 with the beginning of the Industrial Revolution is still being used in some countries today. According to laws of many countries, children are not allowed to work. And according to the UN Global Compact, the child has to be at least 12 years old in order to carry out even the simplest or lightest tasks. However, in worse poorest countries like Somalia and Afghanistan, slightly more than 1 in 5 children, ages from 5 to 17, are engaged in child labor. Also, according to a research done in 2016, about 152 million children are in child labor and most of them were at an age group under 11. These children had to work at farms, factories, and other places. Here, as teenagers growing up in South Korea with good family background, we don't really know what it feels like to work in factories instead of attending school. However, one thing for sure is that those children should not be working but studying at school with their friends. Thus, I have brought up 3 ways to help them get rid of all the burdens that are making them go to work when they have to be enjoying the privileges as a child. First, we can hold campaign to let people know about the seriousness of child labor and that a lot of children in the world are suffering. At the same time, we can help the suffering children financially by making and selling RCY goods with the theme of child rights or child labor. Second, we can open events during the Children's Day in May and raise funds to help the suffering children. Lastly, we can use our own money to donate to those children. This was it for my presentation, and thank you for listening.
Hello, my name is Joali, and my topic is child education. Every child has the right to education. In an ideal world, every child should have the means to go to a classroom and have access to books and learning materials that can enrich their intelligence and skills. Being educated empowers children to stand up for their own rights and the rights of others. Thus, it is a basic need that is required for the children. However, myriads of children in the world, including Korea, are not educated. Millions of children do not have access to education because of poverty, discrimination, the quality of the education on offer, or because they are too hungry to learn. These children leave school before they acquire the basic skills and knowledge needed to thrive within the society. Without skills for lifelong learning, children face greater barriers to earning potential and employment later in life. Then, what can you do for basic child rights? Education. Numerous answers exist for this question. The establishment of an environment where children are accepted can be one of the solutions. We should work collaboratively for the development of the best environment for children. Moreover, eliminating the practice that limits and hinders student success can be a key factor as well. All children have the right to go to classroom and learn regardless of who they are, where they live, or any kind of reasons.